Okay, so let's. Good evening to you all. Today is our day 25 of this 3 month data analytics bootcamp. Like I promised, like I said, this bootcamp will last for about 3 months. And today is our day 25. Like always, we used to start by showing our outlines. This is what we are going to cover for today. We'll talk about a recap of what we did yesterday, and also we'll discuss about upper, lower, proper, and if arrow. That's what we are going to do. We are going to cover for today. So about what we did yesterday, if you can recall, on the 24th yesterday, we solved the week 3 assignment, which I believe you learn a lot in that assignment. The way we solve the assignment, you learn a lot. You learn how to use different formulas in one single cell and others. So I urge you, please and please, to kind of try your best to learn more about how we solve the formula. Learn how to do that. It's not something big. It's just for you to put your brain together and think deeply so that you can come up with a solution of whatever problem given to you. Because take note, like I told you, any data given to you has some unique problem and unique solution. So it can be, you need to think outside the box, like I told you. Any data given to you, you need to think. You need to think. So please stop just restricting your thinking within just what we did. Just please broaden your thinking. Just think outside, think deeply in order for you to extract a lot about a data. So that way, when you are given 2 variables, 3 variables, you can extract countless things in the data. And like I told you right from the beginning of this bootcamp, that every data is sending a message. Every data is telling a story. Every data is saying something. And only those with the knowledge of interpretation of that data can understand it. And you are that person, and you are to interpret it. You are to tell the world and the entire people of the world what that particular data is saying. You are the one to do that. So please, you need to think big and bigger, because what you are learning is not something small, and it's not something just for you to go and sleep. Like I told you, I even while sleeping, I dream about a lot of formulas, a lot of solutions. Sometimes if I slept without solving it. So it's not something easy. Since you started the journey, you need to think that you are doing something great and something not the way you think it is before. So today what we are going to discuss about, we are going to talk about upper, lower, proper, and if arrow. I said this upper, lower, proper has to do with arranging of text. It has to do with arranging of text, how to arrange your text in a range of data. Because like I told you, data can come at any, as you can see, you just saw it in your assignment. You see that they're supposed to put 20 million, but they put 20M. You as a data analyst, you are the one to interpret that 20M into 20 million. How can you do it? You need to answer it by yourself. They're supposed to put 10K, 100K, 100,000. They put 100K. You as a data analyst, it's left for you to know how to do that. So now we are going to talk about how are we going to arrange the character in a text. When we say upper, we are talking about the capitalization of a text to make it upper, all the letters to be in caps lock. That is to be in capital letter. Please, do you understand this? So, for example, you have a data, or you have a serial number, or you have names of people, and the names of people are not the way it's supposed to be. You want it to be in capital letter. So you use this upper function to make everything looks capital letter in a particular cell. Then for lower has to do with making it a lowercase, to make all the letters, because this has to do, like I said, it has to do with letters. That is alphabetical letters. So it has to do with that. It has to do with qualitative data. So the lower will help you to make everything in small letter. That is to make it a lowercase. Then we have the proper. Proper is a way of making things into a lowercase. Everything to a proper is to make the characters to be in a proper way. What did I mean by this? It means that the first letter by default always supposed to be in capital letter. So the first letter, when you use proper, each and every post letter after a space will be a capital letter, and everything will look great and will look okay in that case when you use proper. Then for the if arrow, whenever you are writing a formula, if that formula will return arrow to you, if arrow is what you can use to get rid of arrow inside your formula. For example, you want to have a unique message when you have arrow in your formula. So you use if arrow in order for you to convert that arrow message into something else, telling people that, okay, in this particular cell, there is arrow and you need to correct it. So you are the one to write this so that you will be communicating with people, entering a data or using a data or going through a particular data. You are the one to write that and to communicate with them, telling them that this is what happened for you to see a particular something inside this particular cell. I hope you are with me and you understand this. So let me just close this and move to the our file so that we can start the practice of what I just said. So let me start with the proper. For example, like this, let me start with the proper. I already told you that proper has to do with making the first letter to be capital, and every letter, every character that has space between them will be capital. For example, in this case, these are our full names. Sometimes a letter will be given to you like this with people names, and this is not how the name's supposed to be. Each and every first letter of a name must be, is a noun, it must be in capital letter. So a data to be like this is a problem, and you as a data analyst, you need to arrange that data. If you don't know how to use this proper, then that's a big task for you. Then you are going to write everything by yourself. You are going to start writing, for example, Ahmad, Aminu, Ahmad. You are going to start writing it by yourself. Bello, Tuko. Like a lot of people will say, then you just create a flash like that and create it. Some data will not use this. You cannot use this flash in some particular data. That's why I will never introduce this particular flash to you, because it's something that most of the time it will not work. It will skip a lot of things. It will make problems to you. So that's why sometimes you cannot use it just like that. So, but what we are going to use, we are going to use the proper. We are going to say equals to proper. Then we open our bracket and just click on the text. We just click on the text, we close and we press enter. Then the text will be in a proper format. That is, the capital letter of Ahmad will be capital. The first letter of Ahmad will be capital. The first letter of Amin will be capital, and the first letter of Ahmad also will be capital. The next thing, all I need is to just double click, like we need to drag. Just double click on it and it will drag everything for you. And this is your formula. You see, this is everything for you. It becomes the first letter and the names looks very good. And sometimes you will be asked that this is not how we want the names to be. We want the names to be in all capital letter. We don't want them in a proper way. So whoever entered the data, he made a mistake. We want everything to be in a capital letter. How can we do that? All what we can do is just put equals to is normal. Just put equals to upper, then open your bracket, click on the text. I'll just click on the text, then you press enter, then everything will turn into capital letter. And if you click here, and all the names that you have will turn into capital letter. And sometimes you'll be asked that, oh, that's not how we want the names to be. We want everything to be in small letters. So to do that, all you need to is to put equals to, then you are going to say lower, open bracket, click on the text that you want. Let me click on this upper and just press enter, and it will be all in small letters like the way it is. Please, do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
This is very simple and it's not something big. Is it possible to capitalization reflect in the initial column without creating a new one? I didn't get you. You cannot do that. Take note, if you are to put a formula every time in Excel, there is no way you can override the existing column. No way you can do that. You must do it in a separate column. Maybe after you did it, I show you how to do copy paste special. Then you copy the data and paste special. Then you get rid of what you did in the data. So yes, you cannot automatically capitalize it and do that in this. Yeah. Okay, no question, right? So let's move on, please. Let's move on. Let's talk about this issue of this what do we call it? Let's talk about the if arrow. So for this if arrow, let me see how I can bring something up for you for the if arrow to give you an example, a very good example for this if arrow. So let's use it here. Let's use it here. Let's put it here. So for example, let's say we have 20,000. Okay. So is D2 times this? Yeah, D2 times 2. So it's what will give us 2020. That's it. D2 times 2 is what will give us 2020. Please, are you seeing everything? If yes, just
Yes, sir.
yeah, you are seeing everything, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So whatever we put in this, let me turn it to currency. Whatever we put in this 2021, we are getting times 2 of it in 2022. So for example, now, if I said OT, okay, I didn't drag the formula here now. Let me drag it like this. If I said 40,000, it will automatically give us what? 80. That's what we are going to see. So let me do something. Sorry. Let me turn everything into currency like this. So automatically I put 20 here is 40. So for example, sometimes I can come here, then I just put A. For example, this is what we are going to see is arrow. You see this value is arrow telling you that that value is not what's supposed to be there. So it's because you cannot multiply A times 2, definitely it will give you arrow. If I put, for example, Ahmed, it's arrow. But if I put 9, then definitely it's 18. If I put 10, definitely it's 20. If I put 20, it's 40. If I put 500, it will give me 1,000. So how can you get rid of this particular arrow? That would bring us down to if arrow. Let's come back to here. What you are going to do now is leave your multiplication the way it is. Just come at the first of the formula. Just put if arrow. Just write if arrow and leave your C2 times 2 the way it is. Just put comma. When you put your comma, then what you need to do is to pass the value that you want to see whenever there is arrow. Let's say what I want the user to see whenever you put something other than number, I want the user to get a message that you cannot put alphabets. You cannot insert alphabet here. And that's what I want the user to see. Let me just put it here. You cannot insert alphabets here. Then I'll just close my bracket, and I'll press enter. So by default, once I put anything other than number, it will not say that. It will just say you cannot insert alphabet. You see it here. You cannot insert alphabets here. So if I put 2, it will say 4. If I come back and put B, it will say you cannot insert alphabet. So this is what if arrow will do for you whenever a user puts something that's not supposed to be there, and the formula can bring arrow to, then it will say if arrow. Sometimes maybe it's not a message that I want to pass. Maybe I just want to pass a blank space. So once it is arrow, I just want it to be blank space. So I'll put my double quote, inside double quote, I'll put a single space. I'll press enter. So whenever it's arrow, it will just bring a single space. You see, it's a space. So if I put A, it will just give a space, because it will not calculate anything for me here, and it will not say any message. But if I put 500, it will give 1,000. If I come here and put 20, it will give 40. If I put A, then it will give what? Empty. It will be empty. Please, do you understand this? Do you understand this? Because this one is also very simple, because I want you to understand it and to learn when you are confronted with a work, to learn how to use this in your work. Because I'm going to give you a work. I'm going to give you another work. And this work that I'm going to give you has to do with a lot of what we did this week. Every time you are given an assignment, take note, it has everything to do with the week that we did. So go back and learn that is number, is text. This particular if arrow that we did, go and learn them, practice them. Okay. So that you will not get confused when you are given a real work to do, because I'm going to also give you a real data. I'm going to give you a real data. I'm going to give you a real data. I'm going to give you a real data. God grace, I'm going to give you real data this week also, so that you can work with the data. So if you have any question, you can talk. If you don't, then maybe I will just, if you have a question, maybe you can raise your hands, you can ask, or you can ask in the chat, because asking in the chat is more kind of, you know, I think faster than for you to talk. So if you have a question, you can ask, or you can drop it in the chat, then I can read it and answer it for you. Okay, let me see. I saw somebody just send a chat. Let me check. So we need to explain how can we create our own question, because you said previously I give you raw data only. Yeah, I told you in the next upcoming weeks, I'll do that for you. And take note, you need to start learning from the questions I'm giving to you right from week 1. Go back to week 1 questions, week 2 questions, week 3 questions. Go back to all the questions I'm giving, because it's something you need to learn from by yourself as a data analyst, as you are developing a lot of things, which I believe by looking at the data, you too, sometimes you can tell yourself that these are the things I need to do in that particular data. And don't worry, as you are doing it, you will learn that. I think it's okay. I'm not clear about the if arrow. I'll drop the video, then you can watch the if arrow and see it. You can watch the video. Okay, the if arrow, let me share my screen again. Like I told you, let me just remove what I just did. Let me just remove everything first. Like I told you, for example, we create a particular column and this. If we say 20 times 40, it will give us this. It can be a plus. For example, let me say I just want to put total. I just want to put this plus this, for example, to get total. For example, so I can say, Mr. Ali, let's say 200, okay, like this. So for example, this is it. So if, for example, mistakenly, okay, sorry, let me just make this data. If, for example, mistakenly in one of these columns, I put anything other than number, my particular total will bring arrow. For example, if I put A, it will bring arrow to us, because this is arrow, a particular arrow that we don't want. That because I put A, then A plus 40, definitely it will give you arrow, because there is no way you can have A plus 40. So, okay, let me put 200, for example, like this, 20,000. So if I want to get rid of that arrow, I don't want this arrow in my data. I don't want this arrow. I don't want to see this arrow. For example, I want to give pass a message for the people that are entering this data to know that this particular arrow that they saw is a mistake made by those entering the data, or maybe while people are entering the data, this particular message will give them that, oh, this particular cell, you cannot put anything other than this. That's what it means. So please take note, don't restrict yourself to this particular plus and minus or multiplication that I'm giving the example to you. Go and use this arrow in other examples or other formulas, please, please. Okay, so what you need to do, for example, already you have your formula C2 plus D2. So all just come like we just put the formula inside what we did with is blank, what we did with is text, what we did with some of the formula. All you need to do is to put if arrow. Okay, please, can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me? Can you see my screen?
No.
Yeah, you can't see my screen. It's just my network that just shake. So now can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
So when you put comma, all you need to is to pass the value whenever there is arrow. That is to pass the message that you want your people to see. So it can be, you cannot, that like what I just wrote, you cannot insert alphabets here. Then we close it and we press enter. Then by default, it is going to say that when we drag it, whenever we have arrow, it will say the message, you cannot insert alphabet inside here whenever there is arrow. And I told you sometimes you don't need to put this. You can just put space inside so that everywhere there is arrow, it will just be empty. It will not add the plus for you. It will just leave it empty because there is there is arrow in that.
Hello?
So if you have any question, please, you can ask. Then we can call it a day. No, if arrow is not for calculations, or it's not for calculations. Like I told you, it's something whenever you want to replace the arrow message given to you by Excel, whenever you want to replace it with something, that's when you use if arrow. Because take note, when you are applying some formulas, you are bound to get errors. There is every tendency you will get error in your formulas. So this if arrow is what you use to get rid of that arrow whenever it happens in your work. So that's the use of it. Okay, please, if you have anything to say, you can say. If you have a question, you can ask. Yeah, the salary you can get after this boot camp is depend on where you get the job or which job you got. Yeah, as a data analyst, it depends on which job you get. So that left for you, and that's your destiny. Everyone here has his own destiny. I know some of those that are participating in this bootcamp who already got job. So some just already got job and they are getting money already. So it depends on your destiny, and it depends on where you are going to work or who hired you. That depends on how you package yourself. It depends on how you learn it. It depends on how you work on it. The harder, everything. You are the one to put the effort. Because me, I cannot get job for you. You all know that. But I can help you to work. I can help you to learn. And whenever you get a job, I will congratulate you and I wish you all the best day. Yeah, and I actually want to tell you that if you want, what I'll advise you now, focus on the work, focus on the learning. Learn, make sure you learn. Focus on the knowledge, have the knowledge, because if you get the job without getting the full knowledge, then it will be a mess up sometimes, because at the end of the day, you will be dropped. Yeah, nobody will continue working with you with half-baked knowledge. Even if you are hired at this stage, you are not that up to the standard. At the end of the day, they will work for you. They will work with you. After you work for them for some like 5 years, 10 years, they will dump you. And that's the end of you sometimes. So, I don't know. It depends on what you think. But you need to learn. Focus on the knowledge now. It's just 3 months. 3 months is not even enough for you to get hired. But believe me, with what you are learning now, you will get hired. And I know some of you here that joined this and that got hired and they are working. Some hired them to do some work for them, freelancing work. Some they got jobs. So it's depend on your destiny. It's depend on where you will be, but focus on the knowledge. Even if you get a job, don't don't stop learning. Keep learning. Learn. There are lots of challenges. There are lots of knowledge in front of you. Don't think just because you did 3 months data analytics bootcamp and that's all you will start bragging. Yeah, you can learn other tools, but not Excel anymore. Because with Excel, I think when you finish this bootcamp, I think you are okay with Excel. You are very okay with it. It's just for you to make put your hands on works and start working as much as you can, because whatever you are learning here has to do with practice. If you can't practice, if you are not practicing, you will forget it and it will not be of any value to you. It will not be of any value to you. You need to practice, 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 practice. There is no single day. Okay, so please, if you don't have any question, I think we can call it a day. My network is doing, I don't know what's happening with my network. So I will just drop the video for you in the description. Then I will not drop the video, I'll upload the video now. If you saw something in your data, take note that if arrow is when you applied formula, you will get if arrow. It's when you applied formula, you will get if arrow. Because once the criteria of the formula you put is not how it's supposed to be, you will get arrow in that particular column. So that's exactly when you will apply if arrow. Please take note on this. Please, that's when you will apply if arrow. So if you see discrepancy, you can apply if arrow when there is discrepancy. Discrepancy is something else. Discrepancy is something else. So I think we can call it a day. Please take care, and I want you to keep practice. Please practice, practice,
Sure.
practice. Whatever we did, practice. Just get any data. Even your assignment, go back to your assignment. Watch the way we solve every single assignment. Solve it yourself. Even if you are not going to be marked, don't get distracted with the marks. Learn. I just want you to focus and learn. Don't get distracted with the marks. Don't. Please, just focus and learn. So I wish you all the best. I think see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, see you tomorrow, all of you. Please take care.
Okay, thank you, sir.